This is Ron Greer and Derek Pretzwell. And this is a loch. This is, pretty kind of familiar stuff of the Highlands. There's been overgrazing for years, and it looks like a desert, that sort of look. So that's what they started with. Now, this is near Dalnaspittle going up the A9 after Calvin. And you'd look at that and you think, you're not going to get anything to grow there, are you? And what they thought, their theory was, if they planted stuff which would put nitrogen back into the soil, it might make a difference. So what they did was plant trees with lupins and Scotch broom. And this is where I came in, because lupins are my favourite plant. So actually, if you go up the A9, you will find lupins in all sorts of strange places. The point is, they're there. They have sort of stabilised slopes. This is the, ask for forgiveness, not for permission thing. They've done quite a lot. Now, the next step was to start thinking about them in a bigger way, because what they also do is they increase the heat at the base slightly so that little saplings have got a slightly better time of it. They produce just a little bit of shelter for those little trees coming up, and they return nitrogen to the soil. So here we are. Year one, there's lupins, right? And everyone went, you're mad. You've killed all the trees, and you've killed the Scotch broom, and all you've got is lupins. So year two, you've killed the lupins, and you've killed the trees, and there's nothing but Scotch broom, right? It's a disaster. But year five, the trees had come through, and pretty well everything had died back. And 10 years later, there's a proper beginnings of a forest there. And it's beautiful. A lot of it's Norwegian maple. It's a lot of different trees in some respects, more suited actually to the way our climate's going. And it's beautiful. There's dragonflies, there's wild strawberries. It's kind of, it's like a halcyon place. Now, these guys, having proved what they could do, and remember what this was like. This just looks like a golf bunker or something at the start. They then made a bid to take over 100,000 acres of Perthshire and set up a trust. It was going to mean they were going to plant the trees the same way, and it would mean that places like Pitlochry, Burnham and Dunkeld could become energy self-sufficient just by pollarding and coppicing the trees, not knocking them down, but just taking branches off, which would be pretty cool. And it would basically have given that kind of empty look to the forests, to the hills. It would have populated them again. And it looked like it was going to happen. The Scottish Enterprise backed it. It was all looking pretty good. And then somebody said, do these guys have academic qualifications? Yeah. Now, this is what they heard. It could be there's some other reason. They never knew, because, of course, nobody really bothers to explain. And Ron has become a very angry man, particularly. And he would be almost proud of me saying that, actually. He is furious. He is still as furious as he was, 15 years ago when he was knocked back. It's the same thing. It's actually eating him up. And that's him standing beside his forest that could have stretched right across Perthshire, stuck in a little piece of barbed wire on somebody else's estate who occasionally lets him in to see it. I don't know how he stands it, because it's infuriating. And do you know the other place that they were going to tackle at the same time? Rest and be thankful. Now, what are we doing in this country? It's this question again of this belief that only the professionals, whoever they are, can manage something, and that we ourselves have not got the skills to fix things. And there is no other country that is doing this to itself. So we must stop doing this.